What's up, guys, and welcome back to the #1 student-run podcast in the universe, the Illess podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of Season 2 up in the library. Let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. We had time to decompress and talk about it after.
Yeah, it was just a fun podcast. We just got together. We had one thing. Let's just ask people questions on how their break was, have a fun conversation. Honestly, I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. It was a pleasure to edit and to watch back and see how it all comes out. It's great. It was great.
After that, we were thinking let's ease back into it. Let's you guys know we normally get university officials on the podcast. We're just like, who do we get today? And then Cam was like, we haven't had me yet. So we got Cam.
Hello. It's my time to shine now.
Yeah, Cam sorry.
I was going to say, we finally have more than me just rambling for 10 minutes. We have the full
full
episode.
Full episode,
exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, usually we have you in segments, but now we have you for a full episode. So tell us about yourself, Cameron. You're a Marywood student. You're a sophomore, right? So yeah, tell us about your experience.
So I'm a Marywood sophomore film major here. I actually just switched, or I'm working in the process of switching. I did come here for sports media at first, but I decided after taking some classes, messing around with making documentaries and that stuff, I found filmmaking definitely suits me better rather than taking the sports media route.
So you're going to be film, TV, digital production?
Yes.
Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
That's what you guys get. Everyone else in this room is part of sports media.
I'm from TV digital production as well.
we got half and half.
It's an even split. It's split in half.
Yeah, so what made you shift? You said you love the documentary and the filmmaking aspect of it. I think it's intoxicating in that sort of way.
It is. It truly is. It's going into it, when I was thinking of the sports media route, there's a lot of different ways to go in it, because you see the cool highlights of on ESPN, they'll make player highlights or player intros. That really caught my eye, making little 1 minute montages. But after fully diving in last semester with Al, he had us make a full documentary, which eventually got my mind turning, and I was just really starting to think do I really want to focus entirely on sports? Because if I take the whole film route, I could at some point dive back into say making a sports documentary and tying my love for sports back into my love for filmmaking. But I just felt that switching off of that sports media route was definitely the move for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that, because when I was trying to, because I knew I just liked editing. I knew I liked making content, didn't matter what type of content it was. So I just took classes my freshman year here. I didn't even pick a major. I was just taking classes in the department, and then Ernie was just like, you should switch over. And after looking at everything, I was just staring at it, because I was, you know how you get the three options. You get journalism, you get sports media writing, and then...
Well, everyone forgets about PR too, but
PR, yeah.
It doesn't really count.
Yeah, actually, I think PR is a whole different thing to just take similar classes.
It's PR. It's a weird little thing.
It's a weird little thing.
Ground,
yeah. We don't know the logistics.
Not the real kind. No offense.
But no, I was looking at it for hours, and then I finally picked it, and it was kind of the same thing like you said. We could go into anything we want. It doesn't really matter.
Well, actually, brings up a question in my mind. Is something that I noticed is when I was looking into college, communications was the one thing that I was going in from the start. There's been no doubt in my mind, I want to do something in this field with it, whether it involves podcasting, filming, whatever I want to do. I had the opportunity in high school to take multiple they were called telecommunications classes, but I took 3 in high school that really got my foot open, learning how to edit, learning how to set up shots and that sort of stuff. And that was the initial stepping stone to where I decided I'm going to come not to Marywood, but at least look into school and make sure my decision's in communications.
Okay.
Props to you for that. I think Rebecca and I changed our majors drastically as we came through.
Yeah.
I was a physical therapy major, so
I was going for engineering.
That's a big jump. That's a big jump.
So yeah.
No, yeah, this was something I always loved doing. I would I think I've said in past episodes, I would record little clips, post them to YouTube ever since I think 2015-ish. Started with YouTube videos about gaming, and then it turned into me wanting to do vlogs, and then that just changed into me wanting to do storytelling, which is what I try to do now, or which is something that I'm trying to switch over to now. And it's just there's something about our major. It's just that it's this art. It's anyone can do it, and everyone that does it does it a little differently. So it's we're glad to have you on the dark side.
The dark side.
The dark side.
Come on, this is the light. This is the right way to go.
Sports media?
No. I'm just saying communications as a whole.
Oh no, yeah, communications as a whole. Yeah, I love it.
It's
fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you said your love for sports, tying your film and TV into that. I know you're an athlete. You were an athlete at one point.
Yeah.
So we can talk about swimming a little bit later. Have you done any other sports?
So I've kind of always been the one to like jump around and try and do like as much sports and like that sort of stuff. Cause like growing up, like with a lot of friends, like I meet a lot of friends for like swimming, but like when you're hanging out with different kids throughout school, you're exposed to a lot more different sports. So like right now, I mean, I'm no longer swimming, but like at Marywood, I'm on the esports team here. So I play Overwatch for the school. So, I mean, we can talk about that debate of whether or not it's a sport. And I mean, me and you had a conversation about this in our sports history class that one day. But as of sports that I've played like throughout my life, like right now, over the pandemic, I got really big into disc golf. If any of you guys have ever tried that, it's a very fun activity, and it's super cheap unless you're like losing $20 discs a week. But it's super cheap. It's a lot of fun. I played tennis for 3 years in high school. That was a sport that my friend like convinced me to hop on in high school because he was like, come on, like our practices, like our conditioning, we do 2 conditioning practices. It involves us like running up the court 2 times, and then we just like play tennis the rest of the time. So it's just like something that was just fun to do. And I mean, it was a nice way to spend the spring when like I was out of season for like swimming, and it just gave me something to do. And then before swimming, I was actually a soccer player. So definitely that sport probably still like has the biggest hold on me, and like I have the most passion towards is definitely soccer. Even though I haven't played it in like 7 years.
Cameron going to the World Cup?
No.
No. Oh, yeah. So a lot of like endurance-based like sports, because there are many other sports where like you need like endurance in all of them, but there's some where you need kind of less.
Yeah.
But no, talking about disc golf, dude, the first time I ever had one, I was like, what is this? And then my friend Damien, we went out with let's not talk about who we went out with. But yeah, we were there, and then I just had it in my hand, and I just...
Is it like a normal frisbee, or what is it?
No,
how does that work? I've seen videos of it, but I've never actually played it.
Let me give you a quick rundown. So basically, like, there's 3 main types of discs, like 4 if you really like dive deep into it. Or actually, there is 4. So there's your putter, there's your mid-range, there's your driver, it's drivers. There's 2 sets of drivers. There's a fairway driver, and then there's your distance driver. Each of them are like designed differently on like the ways they flight. Like they're like, if you look on each disc,
as well.
They have like, there's 4 numbers on the disc that like each involve like how much the disc fades, the speed of the disc, the turn, and then also how over or understable the disc is. So it's all in the way the plastic is actually designed and how you'll throw it. And then obviously if you want to throw like, for example, like the most stable disc that I throw is a Star Mako 3, which is a mid-range. It's known as one of the straightest discs in disc golf. It's a 5-speed, but basically like if I throw a hyzer on it, which is pointing the disc down, it will go to the left. If I put a little anhyzer on it, which is pointing the disc up as I throw it, it will go to the right. It's very, I mean, like, I don't
There's so much that goes into it.
It's very, it's so
you learn
simple.
It little by little though when you play.
Yeah, it's very simple to just pick up, because at the end of the day, you're just throwing it like frisbees towards like a basket. But like as you start to like buy more discs and that sort of stuff, you start to realize like, oh, like this is a roller disc. This is like something that I'm gonna throw straight. This is something that I'm gonna throw just 90 feet in the air, and I know exactly where it's going to crash down and hit.
Or like I'm going to put a little extra flick into this one.
And it'll curve.
And then there's different ways of throwing the different discs and stuff.
It truly is like the golf aspect of it, having like your different clubs and stuff.
No, yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I don't know much about golf, but I was gonna compare it to ultimate frisbee. Where it's like you kind of don't expect it to have so much to it, but it just ends up being like so easy but hard but fun at the same time.
I've always wanted to play ultimate frisbee. Haven't gotten around to it but it's something we used to. Illess
Illess playing ultimate frisbee when it gets a little warmer.
We very well could.
We have enough cameras.
But during the summers, I used to lifeguard, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But in the meantime, between our shifts, we would just play frisbee back and forth. We'd me and this guy Seamus, he's a firefighter now, so it's like wild to think like lifeguard, but we had the record for like most consecutive like back and forths from like a certain distance. We like kept track of random stuff, and like at the end of the year, end of the summer, we'd have like Olympics kind of thing with like all those lifeguards in the city, and one of it was like a mini ultimate frisbee game, which like wasn't like real stuff, but like ever since playing that, I was like, I need to like get into an actual league at some point in my life, because that stuff looks wild. That looks really fun.
Get a huge crew together of like maybe 10 people.
Yeah,
do a whole like ultimate frisbee like Let's do it outside.
Because like it sounds like lame. Like we should. That's a good idea. It sounds like it's like an ultimate frisbee or just like throwing the frisbee. But like you see clips of it. Like I don't know if you know Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD on YouTube.
Yeah.
He like plays ultimate frisbee. He posted a clip. He's like all out, laying out, diving like 5 yards.
Dude, ultimate frisbee.
It's actually it's funny you mentioned that. Like I think if anyone who grew up with like watching like Dude Perfect or anything on YouTube, you guys know you guys know Brody Smith.
I don't know who he is. I know Dude Perfect.
I just combined both their names. Duty Perfect. Yeah. Brody Smith was like originally he started off as a YouTuber who did trick shot videos similar to Dude Perfect, but he only did it with frisbees. And so he started off as a professional ultimate frisbee player. He's actually like now one of like the top 10 like best ranked disc golf players, at least in America. I don't know how it goes in Europe because like if you really go dive into like pro disc golf, everyone who's from like Finland and like Scandinavian countries, insane. Like, they're so dirty.
No, we're just they're like, and they're just like, what do you mean you only do one disc at a time? Kind of like Batman, just 3 discs per hand.
That's wild. We should do a vlog though or something, or we should all go out. We have skiing. We have to do disc golf.
We have to do skiing, disc golf. We gotta do a Illess outside.
Yeah.
Episode where like
an Illess tries.
Illess tries.
Oh yeah. That's a good idea, or something like that.
Pub golf? No, I'm kidding. No, we'll be like mic'd up. We'll walk around. We'll do something in downtown Scranton or something. We'll have like 2 cameras following us.
That'd be cool. Or we could do like a podcast while we're doing stuff.
Yeah,
we're just like talking as we're throwing the frisbee around.
Maybe we ask people questions, random people that walk by. So, what's your day been like? Or like,
I gotta get back to the game. See you guys.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like you're done.
And then just like, wee. But no, yeah, Cameron. So, what got you into sports? Like, what brought you to sports? Because I know sports and like making that content got you into comms and now just like the film, TV, digital production. But what got you into sports?
I feel like it's a family thing. Like I feel like people who grew up around sports, this could be like completely like wrong too, but I feel like the majority of people who do grow around sports, it's almost like their parents had something along the lines to do it. So like my dad was a football player. I never once in my life played football, but just having that like person who's like, all right, like my dad was very big on like going outside and having fun outside rather than playing indoors. But like just having that someone who understands how sports works and how much like time and energy and like time dedication, all these sort of things that actually go into it. Just having that someone who like pushes you into like, I guess their hobbies, it just kind of like, that's just how I got into sports really. It was just based on my dad.
And then the love just kind of continued as you moved on. And interesting.
I kind of get that because like growing up, I always knew like my dad played like in the national levels in India for cricket.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So like when I was growing up in India, I played cricket all the time because talk to my dad about it, play cricket with my dad, bonding time, and then I would go play cricket outside. And then after I came here, I wanted to join a sports team. Didn't make tryouts for any of them. I was very out of shape. Let's just say that. I mean, we all knew.
We talk about it all the time.
Now here's the sports where like these are I've tried to do, but I just sucked at: basketball, football, soccer. Badminton. I'm actually decent at. Volleyball I like a lot. I was actually the vice president of the volleyball club in high school.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. For
That's on your resume.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the sports I've tried. I've tried swimming. I don't know how to.
Swimming is something. It's like it's a sport that people like. Oh, you're just going back and forth in the pool. Anybody can do that.
But there's very dedicated to swimming in order to fully get into it.
You start swimming when you're 8, and that's like if you want to become serious with swimming, like you have to focus all your time and energy on swimming, which is also like one of the reasons why like I just decided to like step away. And it's like funny enough, I've actually quit swimming 3 times. I've actually come back to it multiple times because like the one aspect of swimming that I do respect is the grind aspect because it is very it's honestly more of a mentally challenging sport than anyone would think just because of the amount of hours that are dedicated. Like swimming is one of the only few sports where it is common where you're doubling up doing 2 practices once like a day. Like you're doing 6 a.m. swims, and then as soon as you get off of school, you're going to your practice at 3:30. Like you have those 2 practices a day. Like no other sport's really like that. Like if you did that with football, no one would be able to play.
Actually,
I mean,
we do have like I don't know if we're gonna end up doing this, but I mean where I was going with that is like now I'm a rugby player. Big thing was like for me joining rugby was like I wanted to do it since I was a freshman. Again, out of shape. I had to wait till I was in shape. But my dad did. Like I said, my dad played in nationals in college. So I was like, you know what, it'd be nice to do a sport in college as well, another thing to relate to that. And I was like, you know, it'd be just cool to play a sport. I never, I always wanted to be a part of a team, was never a part of a team. Did this, I looked at the schedule for practice. There's some Thursdays, bro. Mm-hmm. We got a 6 a.m. practice, and then we got an 8 p.m. practice. And I'm like, yo, what is this? What's going on here?
That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do that, but with swimming, I've swam here and there, and it's like my body's just drowned. I'm tired. I'm super slumped the rest of the day. So how did you do that? How did you do a 6 a.m. practice and then go through school and then do another practice? Were you just tired, or were you just I need a shit ton of caffeine?
A little bit of both. Depending on the day. My relationship with swimming was very different. I have no problem admitting it. I would go to the morning practices, but there would be plenty of times I just straight up didn't go. And there was a bunch of outside factors why I chose to just not go to those morning practices. But honestly, a lot of the times I just sleep in class. I hate to admit it. I really do hate to admit it, but there'd always be that one class I was I don't really care. I had to be up at 6 a.m. this morning. Not even before 6 a.m. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've already sat through 5 classes of the day. I got a swim meet in the afternoon. I'm gonna fall asleep in this class.
Those are the worst, honestly. Yeah, the morning practice, you have swim meet afterwards, or because they drag on for 3-4 hours, and you only swim 4 times. I don't know. I went to high school here, so I don't know if it's the same.
Roughly 4 times.
3 or 4 times. So you're sitting around doing nothing in between, waiting to go to sleep. And you got schoolwork to do and all that too, so you don't get home until 6, 7 p.m. sometimes. Mm-hmm. There were times I'd go into practice at 6 a.m. and then go to school and after school practice, and I worked afterwards because the little kids came in and swam, and I was a lifeguard for them, so I wouldn't get home until 9 p.m.
It's draining. It's
truly
draining.
So it was, and I'd be everyone here that didn't play sport, not here, I mean everyone in school that didn't play sports, so I got so much work to do and stuff. I'm you go home.
And then all the
school.
athletes are yo, we die.
You got 6 hours on top of us.
Another thing, I gotta give a shout out to architecture students. If you're an architecture student at this school and you're still somehow involved in sports, one, I feel sorry for you, and 2, how do you do it? There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah. Well, Tyler plays baseball. Yeah.
Ty quit.
Back when I first started coming to Marywood, a majority of the swim team were architecture students.
Dude. That's so wild. One of the most dedicated sports and one of the most dedicated majors, time consuming wise.
I would say it's not. It's the top 3 for sure that what I passed, but I think it might be the hardest major here, because if you really look at it, pre-PA is really high up. After you do in your 3rd year, you apply for the PA program, right? Mm-hmm. Majority of the students that applied got waitlisted. A very small amount made it.
14 made it this year.
14 made it out of 40.
For real?
Yeah.
So and they go from Marywood to Marywood. They're not even transferring schools or anything.
They're just trying to get accepted.
But that's 14 people that are, I believe. My roommate's actually a pre-PA major, and we were talking about this. I believe he was saying it's 14 students. I don't know if this is actually true, but it's 14 students from Marywood and other schools that are applying to Marywood's pre-PA grad program.
So it's not even a full 14 from Marywood. What are the other? What are the other 30?
They're waitlisted.
26 people.
Everyone else is waitlisted,
and they just hang out and wait.
So my roommate, not technically still roommate. I don't know. So Damien, right? My friend. He was a pre-PA. He did it first 2 years, and then he was just looking at stuff, and he decided to just switch. I think he's med now. He's pre-med. I think. Don't quote me on it. But he switched because he was there's so much work I'm putting into this, only to maybe get a spot. They looked at his grades and everything. They were you'll get a spot, but do you really want to do this? And because you'll be taking that spot away from someone else. And he was just kind of iffy about it. But I feel that's a lot of pre-PA people that I meet. They're really iffy on if they want to do it. They do it, they commit to it, but then they switch to 30. I have so many friends switching from pre-PA this year.
College is also just a questionable time.
honestly.
Like it truly is. Like you
honest.
never know. Like if like right
Like
now.
when you're 17, you're told to pick something that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. When you're 18, you start it, and now by the time you're 21, 22, 23, you graduate, and you're just thrown into this life of like, okay, the decision you made at 17, now do that for the rest of your life.
And what's weird is that, like, A, you come out with, like, tons of debt through school, student loans and whatnot. And B, like, you've been going to school for 16, 17 years, whatever. What do you do after that? All we know is going to school. And, like, the athletes do sports, but, like, some of us work part-time. But it's just thrown into an entirely different world.
I feel like my life is gonna be so. That's why I love this major, because what we're doing right now, not only is this part of school for us, but like it's also like this is something that I would love to continue doing as a job in the future, like after I graduate. Yeah. But I mean, you're gonna experience this like in a couple of months, but like for me, I still got a while, and it's just like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm gonna wake up, go to work, and come home. That's it. Like, I don't go to any classes. I'm not learning anything new. Like.
It's starting to hit us all that, like, when they say college is the most fun you'll have in your life, it kind of, unless we somehow get jobs doing this, having fun. Which, not to say that we can't, but, you know. Yeah. It's going to be more professional. You're going to be like a news station or something, you know. It's not going to be as fun.
Unless the Illess
podcast
pops off.
If you buy our merch, then we can do this for a living. So go buy our merch.
If you buy the merch, if you give this video, like, we could do this for a living. We could keep you guys entertained for the rest of our lives.
Everyone buy 30 hoodies and we'll be good.
Oh, yeah. Go for it. 30 each size, each color.
We're making it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we'll make it out.
Then we're good.
No, it's just we're just here. We're like 60. We're like... So I took my grandkids to the park today.
So the same as yesterday, then.
It was fun.
The paper, huh? The
Illess podcast, the #1 old men run podcast in the universe. We just change it after we graduate.
Every
It's
time
not the student run podcast anymore.
The #1 student graduate podcast.
Student graduate podcast. But no, there's so much that I feel like I'm gonna miss after I graduate. To which, like, I'm just like, do I stick around for another year and maybe grab a minor or maybe grab like a master's? It's just like, I don't know, man. I kind of don't want to leave, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited to start my life outside of like college. Yeah, it was kind of the rush that was coming in junior year of high school. Like, holy cow, I'm gonna be in like college in 2 years. Now it's just like, in like 2 years, I'm gonna be out of college, and it's like, what do I do after that? Do I move somewhere? Do I get a dog? Do I get an apartment? Like, what do I do?
Number 2 question on Urbain's mind is, do I get a dog?
I mean, I want a dog. I just like, do I want a big dog or a small dog? Like, do I want a French bulldog? Do I want a Yorkie, or do I want like a golden retriever or a German shepherd?
And then after that, what job do I want?
Oh yeah,
doesn't matter
the
what
job comes after the dog. Because like, if you have a dog, you have a best friend.
Urbain's gonna be the old man podcast.
The old man podcast. So it's gonna be and my dog, maybe a French bulldog.
That's how you keep Illess running for a long time. You just see multiple dogs.
Like, there's like another dog every episode. We just added 10 years to our lifespan. But no, it's just so hard, and you're just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. You're a year behind me, so it's like you have a little longer. But like for me, it's like starting to kick in.
Do you feel any of that at all? Do you like what do you is your thought on the end?
Like what, graduating?
Yeah,
like graduating, like after school.
Like what happens after this?
Like after, like honestly, I still don't know. Like, and I feel like we kind of like went over this a little bit during like the New Year's episode, and we were talking about like wanting to live life like in the moment, and like that's kind of like I just want to keep my mind like that because like you said, like college is the most like fun part of your time, like funnest part of your life, but is it the funnest part of like your youth, your young adult life, or is it going to be like actually the best part of your life? Because like you're going to have plenty of more fun like once you're 50 or 60, for example, but it's just like your idea of what is fun now is going to be completely different. What your idea of fun is like 40 years down the line.
That's an interesting perspective. I never thought about that. Your idea of fun changing.
Like my idea of fun is like right now it's working, whereas of like maybe 4 years ago it was Fortnite, like.
And then 16.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I still play Fortnite sometimes, but like.
I've never played Fortnite, so.
Missing out.
But then, like 40 years from now, fun could be.
Fortnite? I don't know.
We could do that. 40 years from now, fun might be sitting down reading a book. Just like not working, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been working your whole life.
I don't think it'll ever be reading a book.
Or something. But you know what I'm saying? Like you've been working your whole life, so fun will be like not working. You know what I'm saying? Like not doing anything.
Like life is so weird. You go through so many changes. Yeah. Like I never thought I would be athlete because I always wanted to be one, but I was like, oh no, I'll never do that. I don't have the guts to do it. But now I'm just like, yeah, I want to do it. Like, I had my first practice, and the coach was like, I know some people might drop off, but like coach talked to me at the end. He was like, I know you were like slow on the mile like at the end, but he was like, I need you on the team. And after that, I was just like, you know what, I made a decision right then and there. I had so much fun during that practice. It was just like, yeah, we didn't do anything major, but it was like just like the beginner stuff. And I was like, yo, this is fun. Like, I'm part of a team. This is dope. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what, coach, I'm down. Like, he was like, all right, come Tuesday, I'll give you your stuff. I'm like, yes. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that point. Oh, wait, no, I do. We don't know what's going to happen next. Like, life goes through so many changes. Like, we kind of have 3 different generations in a way. Not generations, but like 3 different like graduating years.
It's like you can watch him. You can watch him graduate, and then like I'll be watching you move up,
and then someone else will be watching.
And then well, as we pick up more freshmen, build the Illess podcast, get more people around here. Passing on messages. Yeah, everyone can learn from each other.
And it's damn, dude. It's just so weird to think that life is just going everywhere.
Yeah.
This turned into a serious little thing right now, and it was just like this is supposed to be like
a not what I was prepped on.
No, we weren't either. We knew what to talk about.
This is the kind of conversation that you have with the boys, and then you're like, we should start a podcast.
Yo,
we're talking about this. You know what I mean?
It's like that. It's like that one episode of Family Guy when they're just sitting in the bar, and then Peter just goes, "Hey guys, I think we should start a podcast." And then like Quagmire agrees, and everyone's just like, "You know what? Let's do it." And then they just have. I forgot what they call their podcast. I think they did like 4 episodes or something. But
Ruben, you referenced this episode in like 3 weeks ago, and none of us knew it then.
I did.
I still don't know it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should have wrote that down.
Corey, you did your homework.
I don't know that episode.
You're the producer. You're supposed to do
I
it.
watched a lot of Family Guy, and I don't know that episode.
I'm the oldest person in the room, and I've never seen a single episode of Family Guy.
Just like a Mandela effect.
I just put it on in the background and do whatever I want. Yeah, like it says background noise for me, and I'll be like, "Ooh, what's Stewie doing?" And then just like, yeah. But you guys know what we do. It's time for the break. Actually, we're gonna do something different. Cameron, do you want to call out the break?
Oh yeah. Oh, just like Ian did it?
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, we're just taking this moment to talk about TVM, Marywood student-run news station.
They broadcast every Friday while school is in session.
The reporters create stories for all ages and their interests, such as local news, sports, and campus events.
They also have timely pop culture segments, one being a commentary on the 2022 Oscars.
They also have reoccurring segments titled Mental Health Matters.
Here, students and faculty get together to talk about the importance of mental health.
Check them out on YouTube at TV Marywood.
We're gonna burn down a pound, day in your heart. We're back.
Speaking of good music.
I was like, where am I going with this? Let's just go for it. Music time.
Cameron, you are like our resident music expert. Have listened to like 140,000 hours
all
or
of us,
minutes.
like,
Stop. Not that special.
Music listener, then fine. Resident music listener.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Good
We're
title.
fine.
Yeah.
What give us some of your top albums, top songs of the past year.
Okay. We'll just go like top 5. Actually, first, before we say anything like top 5 related, for anyone out there who mentioned that this year's like music was like awful, like this was a bad year for music, I can agree with you that the bad of the bad was really bad. A lot of bad in that sentence. But like the albums that were like good were actually amazing, like really good peak music. Because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about how like they didn't really like 2022 as a year for music, but like there's just so many good albums out there. You just gotta like find them.
Yeah. I like how you started the statement as this year. I'm like, we're in a different year now.
It is a new year.
We're talking about 2022.
Yeah.
So the bad of the bad was bad, but the good of the good was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like Metro Boomin was fire, dude. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
We can get into that.
Okay. So I was thinking about this when Jason texted me like top albums.
Yeah.
So we'll just do top 5. So number 5, Melt Your Eyes to See My Future. I think that's the name of the album. Denzel Curry. I don't know if you guys any listen to that. Fantastic album.
Listen to it.
Very good album. Not to mention he released a deluxe of it, which had a bunch of like tracks that were in the original album. He remixed them to make them more like this smooth, mellow, like jazz style. It was very good. That was the deluxe album. Definitely, like I think was a lot better just because like the bluegrass style he had at the end. Number 4, Learn to Swim by Redville.
I've heard so much about that.
I don't know if any like that album.
How is pronounced Red Veil?
Red Veil, whatever it is. Whatever it is. He's a very small artist. Like I've seen I know like one song kind of like blew up on TikTok and like it has like 17 million listens or something on Spotify. But like him as an artist, like that album, if you haven't checked out that album, so good.
I have Spotify on my phone.
Okay. Anyway, great album, Learn to Swim, fantastic. Number 3, and like my top 3, I was really, really thinking about this because this is like hard to say exactly, but I'm gonna go number 3.
Is the song "Morphine the Ways" by Red Veil?
I was thinking Campbell.
Campbell's
But-
from a completely different album.
I wasn't thinking of Learn to Swim for that song, but anyway, top 3. I like really was going back and forth on this because I like had no idea of like what I wanted to do because depending on what day you're talking to me, they could easily switch around. But
enough.
3, I'm gonna have to go with the Forever Story, JID, J-I-D.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was playing that the one day when you came in, so you were jamming out to it. That I'm gonna cut you off for just a second.
You're good.
That that's up there for me too. I haven't even listened to JID in the past, and I wish that I had. And that's my philosophy on like so many new artists I'm listening to. I'm like, why have I gone so long without listening to them?
Yeah.
Forever Story, incredible album. I wholeheartedly agree with that one.
Spectrum Pulse put the Forever Story at number 2 for the top 50 best albums of 2022.
The Forever Story is up there in a lot of album rankings.
It is well deserved, especially just like the overall. Just like I actually recently picked up the vinyl for the Forever Story too, and I've been listening to that nonstop every day, just front to back the entire album. It's so good from start to finish. Like it is just such a perfect album. Like not even perfect, but it's up there.
Yeah.
Best of all time. Like it's a very good album.
I'll find myself listening to it, and it's like 50 minutes or so. It's not like incredibly long, but I listen to it, and it feels like it's like 10 minutes. It like flies by every time. I'm like jamming out to the songs, and it's over, and I'm like, what?
Because like he'll be singing for like one song like Systemi. I'm so bad with all these pronunciations of all these songs, but like that song's like 6 minutes of just like him singing with like these like choral chords in the background, like that sort of stuff is so good. And then you have a song like Radar and Surround Sound with 21 Savage.
God.
It's just like straight hard hitting bangers that you can listen to the gym. And then you're also just like the next song is just like, oh my God, I'm contemplating life right now. Like I don't even know what to think.
You get like Crack Sandwich where
Yes,
it's like talking about like his childhood. Like it's wild.
Yeah, some artists are able to do that. They'll like take their album here and then there and whatever place they want it, but it connects.
I know
so
that
perfectly.
it does. I know that Surround Sound is like the hit off of the album, and it's like
You're forgetting
stereotypical
about
to
Dance
choose
Now.
it.
Dance Now was the
Dance
first
Now,
song
is
was the like really blow up, but I'm gonna agree with you that's like Surround Sound's probably the better song. Of
I-
Dance Now and like
The first, I like the whole song, but the first like minute and a half of like JID and 21 Savage, I can replay that all day. It's so weird because like the chorus, it's a short chorus. It's not very like flashy in any way, but it's so good. My girlfriend and I jam out to that all the time.
even
it's so good.
what's the girl's name at the end? Baby Tate, I think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. She has
She has
got
a really
bridge
good
in
feature.
there,
That's a good switch, like a little switch up of the beat at the end, and just like how she finishes and wraps up the whole song. Like that's a very good way to end it.
It's so good. And
Baby
yeah.
Tay is credited on the Surround Sound song in general.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, a little tangent on that album,
There's
but
an
I'm
There's an album I'm thinking of. I'm just like, what year was this? Her Loss. That's what I'm thinking of.
That was
Dude, I hate that album.
That
Actually, Her
album
Loss.
was like so controversial.
that
as
Drake and
soon as
21
it came out.
Savage?
21
Yeah.
carried.
Come on, bro.
21 carried.
Like same thing with Certified Lover Boy. It's just like
dude.
people were like,
okay, Certified Lover Boy was last year.
Okay.
well, it's 2020.
No,
I think it's
yeah,
2022,
Like
too.
I
Or
will
is
say
that
this right now, I am one.
RCLB?
yeah.
I am very biased when it comes to Drake. Like I like old Drake music, but like everything, like Honestly Nevermind, Certified Lover Boy, and Her Loss, like I hated all three. Like there was like 4 songs I can pick up from each of them.
like-
but like every time I was listening to the songs, like 21 would open up on Her Loss, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good song. And then it's just like I hear Drake's voice, and there's just like something about his voice that like actually like annoys me. Like that, as
Physically.
much as like we talked about this in the last episode of like how much you hate Ohio, or was it? No, it was
No,
Ohio.
he- no,
I
he
hate
is.
Ohio.
Oh, I hate
Yeah.
Ohio. Like
Yeah.
I like if I'm gonna rank Ohio and Drake, like Drake is like slightly underneath Ohio for me. Like
I
the
would
most
like,
things I
also
hate.
like to point out that if it wasn't for Jimmy Cooks popping off from Honestly Nevermind,
Oh no,
Jimmy Cooks is a good song.
Jimmy Cook's the only good song on that album.
Yeah.
Her Loss probably wouldn't even exist if that song hadn't popped off.
I've heard it was a
Yeah.
marketing strategy that he was like making like a pretty bad album and then have like one amazing song on it so that he can promote his actual album coming out.
But then his actual album was like garbage.
No, it
You
wasn't.
said you liked it.
I don't even
thought.
think it was
no,
that.
no, no.
Her
I
loss-
was saying it was a controversial album.
Oh, okay.
He went for like the house style, but the whole point of his last 3 albums was to be a trilogy. But like if you go to like any mainstream artist that are like out there who have made a trilogy in the last like 3 albums back to back to back that kind of all are together, and if you group these albums together, like Drake did it the worst out of like all the other mainstream
A
artists.
trilogy of what? Like Scorpion, Certified Lover Boy, and Honestly Never Mind?
No, it's Certified Lover Boy, and then Honestly Nevermind, and then it's Her Loss. They're all tied together. All 3 albums are tied together.
Oh, I guess.
Because technically,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
what I mean. Like
oh,
they're
he's
supposed to be tied
yeah,
together, but
I
you could
know,
never
but
tell.
not-
like
That's why
he's
you
a
just can't
certified
stand
lover
them.
boy. Like in the first one, like the second one is like,
Honestly,
you know,
Never
honestly,
Mind.
like never mind. And third
was-
one,
it
you're
was
like,
Her
you know
Loss.
what? It was Her Loss.
And then
guess.
Drake's in his girl boss era with Her Loss, and then
Yeah,
He's like,
I
Drake is
will
so-
say on Her Loss, there's a couple of verses or choruses I like, but it's never really the whole song throughout.
it's
Other
always
than-
21 Savage.
Yeah,
Literally all 21
Thank
Savage.
you.
Yeah.
21 Savage actually is like popping off.
Yeah,
I would feel like.
honestly, because I remember like back in like Bank Account era, like his like Issa album, like he's totally switched up from that, and
Yeah.
he's like so mainstream now. It's wild to think like
It was
how big he is.
actually ours.
Speaking of like trilogies, though, one of my top albums of last year was Dawn FM. I don't know if you, I'm sure you've listened to it.
Yeah, of course.
It was
by
the
the
first
Weeknd.
album I listened to for 2020.
It came out
wait,
very
hold
early
on,
on,
Dawn
but
FM, The Weeknd.
apparently it's the middle of album of a trilogy. Of yeah, we have
Oh, really? Yeah, because
After Hours, Dawn
Yeah.
FM, and then the final one is coming this year maybe or next year. But I love Dawn FM when it came out. Personally, I've never liked The Weeknd all that much.
Did you
I
watch
know.
the Twitch stream he did, like the release of
I
Dawn
didn't.
FM? Did any of you see that?
Was it at the club?
He did like a whole like Twitch stream for Dawn FM like the night it released on like Twitch, and it was just like it was obviously the whole album's like a very disco-y like 70s dance vibe, but it was like the whole hour release of the album, like he did a whole teaser. It's literally just Abel, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
his name. He's just like dancing in a club to his own album.
That's so
It's
cool.
so funny.
That's so
He
nice.
was like his own DJ, like at a.
Oh, that's wild. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like because like I know there's all debates like old Drake, new Drake, and then there's like old The Weeknd, or old Abe. I don't know.
Old Weeknd.
Old
Old
versus
Weeknd,
new. But like he's kind of like he's moved on from his like
Yeah.
F boy era, and he's like
the
into
Weeknd's doing a
real.
lot of different things, but like going back to Drake, it's just like there's some old songs that I'll never like get topped by his like.
Oh
music.
yeah, his old discography. Yeah, I mean,
He should have just stopped after Views. Like, actually, he should have just stopped after Views.
no, I can
Views
agree
was
with
a
that,
good
though.
album. I'll give it
Okay,
that.
if it wasn't okay, we wouldn't have God's plan if he stopped at
Thank
Views.
God.
We don't need
I
God's
didn't
plan.
like God's plan. Like I have no problem admitting
God's
it.
plan's fine, I guess. There's like God's plan, nice for what that was like fine, but like everything else from then on, I could do without. Jimmy, I like Jimmy Cooks,
I'm
but
like super tired. I don't want to keep yawning
I
into
can-
this episode.
I can live without Jimmy Cooks. You know what I mean?
Oh wait, never mind.
But like new Drake is just so corny, it's so weird.
4 hours.
All right,
Man.
where were
I'm
we?
looking at Corey being like, I'm a 4
I know
hours
we
this
went to Drake. Number 3, Forever Story. Number 2,
No, Drake has a new song out.
did you just drop a new song
Yeah.
today? I saw. Okay,
We
I'm
we
getting off
caught
topic
we
there.
caught done.
Okay, well I'll have to listen to that after. I know.
We caught done.
I
Featuring
know.
Drake.
XX Tentacion just released a song with Uzi, I believe, last night.
Oh, that's so weird. Like
I think,
posthumous
yeah, we-
releases and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan.
We talked about this like
With Takeoff, right? We're talking about it.
would take off, and I think we touched into it where like when there was a shooting. Oh no, yeah, it was the Takeoff episode. I feel like when we talked about how some labels just keep like coming out with music even after the artist passes away.
X's family has done it the worst.
Milk the artists for all their worth even after they're dead.
X has been gone
X's
for
family has definitely done it the worst.
He's been gone for like 5 years or something, right?
But like,
he's still.
what was that album? Bad Vibes Forever. I think that was his like most recent album. I don't know if someone can correct me on that, but like
I can look it up.
it was just it was 24 songs of just like it's so obvious that the songs were all just unfinished and just should have stayed away. But they released them anyway to like just make some money off of them. It was just so obvious.
And like
it was
fans are
all
gonna get it,
unfinished
and like
beats.
fans are just gonna go buy it. Like I love X's music, I love Juicer's music, but like it's just that at the same time it's just like just leave it alone. Let the legacy of the man just live.
The
Sometimes
most
that he
recent album
finished.
that was released before he died was Questions, but after he died, there was Skins, XXX Tentacion Presents Members Only Volume 4.
Members Only Volume 4 was good because Members Only Volume 4 got like finished by everyone who was in Members Only.
Yeah, like the Pop Smoke
Ski
album
Mask.
after it came out. It was like
Oh,
half
yeah.
Pop Smoke and like half features. So they
There's also the deluxe version of Questions, Bad Vibes Forever, and Look at Me, the album.
Yeah, but like both of those, like those just aren't necessary.
I feel
it's-
like, yeah.
it's just not.
You're like ruining their legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. Like instead of being known as this artist that had like 3 good albums or whatever, now they have like a ton of like loose baggage and stuff. It's like
where it's like when Donda 2 came out and it had True Love on it, people were surprised.
Oh, I thought True Love was the only good song on Donda.
Oh, it's
I
the only
agree.
good
I
song.
agree.
No, yeah,
That
on
was
Donda
good.
2, it's the only good song.
it's the only one on Spotify too. Which
Yeah,
is fine by
that
me.
is true. And there's another song. The song with there's a song with Migos and Baby Keem on it that if it was finished and Kanye finished his verse, I think that would have been the best song because Baby Keem's verse on that song is so good. Quavo went off. Like it is such a good album, but like or not even album song if it were to be finished. But like
now we don't
Kanye
know.
throwing out whatever he can now.
Might never be finished at this point.
Honestly,
I mean,
keep it there.
Kanye, you need to listen to me, bro. Like, I've said a lot of controversial things on this podcast. You've said a lot more worse things in public, but
So
like,
much worse.
what you gotta
don't think
do
it even
is
comes
calm
close.
down. Yeah, like, no
he's
one else
not
comes
calming
close.
down.
Like, bro, what wasn't he talking about Hitler?
he was
Bro,
like Hitler did nothing wrong.
Bro, Hitler was a bad guy. We all know it. Could you please just take your meds, bro? Like, please calm down. Like, honestly, I look up to you in terms of music producing. And the old Kanye. That's it. Like, that's it. There's nothing good I could say about you right now. Like, like Kanye could say, oh, he's a nothing. What does he got? I got this. I got that. You know what I don't got to worry about? All the bullshit you're saying, dude. Like, people hate you. Like... Yeah, there's some people that don't like me, but at the same time, I'm not saying like stuff that's like obviously controversial.
Yeah, Kanye's wild.
I didn't mean to cut off the Verbain rant there, but you know what's so funny to me is the song. It's I Miss Kanye. What is it called?
Mr. Old Kanye.
I'm
Yeah.
Mr. Old Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah, that
No,
song
no,
I've been
I-
bumping
I
so much
miss
more
the
recently.
old
I'll just be
Kanye.
sitting in my room at midnight, like so upset. I was just like, man, this dude, like there was like the first like 5 months that Kanye started going insane, and there was like all the memes like he made graduation, guys. He made graduation. He's not that bad of a dude. And then like you're getting to this point, it's just like, oh, can we just go back to
many
before
years
the
ago was
life of
graduation?
Pablo? Like please, Cuddy. Like we just need another Kids See Ghost 2, and then you can go off. Like
Yeah.
I would
So
be
it's
fine
like-
if, if we'd never heard from him again.
Dude, graduation was 2007.
But it's like, yeah, now that song is more relevant than ever.
Donda
Kanye.
Deluxe.
I don't know.
Donda
Everything
why is
after
there
like Life of
Deluxe?
Pablo was kind of all right.
Life
Kitsy
of
Ghost,
Pablo
but,
was
like,
alright.
Kids
as
See
far as, like,
Ghost and Yay were very good albums.
all right.
Okay, we should probably finish up my top 5 before
Yeah, we need to
continue running. Okay,
Wait,
so
does Donda Deluxe have Donda 2 songs on there?
no, it's 6 added songs. It has like a bunch of like part 2s, like they added
I
like Come to
see,
Life.
yeah,
It's pointless. It's just another cash grab.
I
Cash
need to
grab.
listen to it.
True love shouldn't be. That was the only good song in Donda 2.
Anyway,
Redo your life.
Cameron's top 2 now, but like
Yeah.
they interchange.
Yeah, so we'll quick recap. Denzel Curry's album, Melt My Eyes, Redville, Learn to Swim, Jid, Forever Story. Number 2, and this took me a while to like actually come to this conclusion, but like now that I've had plenty of time to listen to it, and if anything, way too much time to listen to this, Heroes and Villains, Metro Boomin.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I was worried you weren't gonna mention that, man, because
Okay.
it's not like a true album in the sense of like
Yeah.
Jid's album. It's totally different. But speaker, yeah.
The like producer albums, like they've always been like, and we kind of like talked about this a little bit on Jid's album, like an album that I think if there's an album that deserves to be called great, it needs to have a good sense of versatility, not just spitting bars the entire time. And Metro Boomin's album did that because like in even just like how he produced or like made each song flow into another one, like the on time transition into superheroes or immediately into Future's verse, like it is so good. And then like features from A$AP Rocky, Gunna was on there. There was a song with A$AP Rocky and Takeoff. That song was amazing. That's Feel the Fire is probably like my favorite song. The Weeknd with Creeping with 21 Savage. There's that one song where 21 Savage is talking about like how he's just back in his old gang ways. Like it feels like it's an Insta style song where he's just like talking about how much he loves to trap and all this other stuff. And then it has that one like beat switch where the guy like then brings this message of like we need to like stop like shooting each other, like all the issues.
Is it Walk 'em down, don't kill civilians?
Walk them down, don't kill civilians. Yes,
It's also done with Mustafa.
Mustafa.
I
That's
gotta
the guy's
listen to
name.
that whole album. I
There's
haven't.
no skips on that album.
No, not a single one. And
So far, I'm like I think maybe like halfway through the album. Like I haven't skipped even one song. I'm bopping.
Yeah,
to
you
it,
gotta
down,
we gotta listen to the whole way through though. In my
but like
opinion,
it's just like again like there's so many like there's hard hitting songs that like you would PR to in a gym. Like I feel like every time I walk into the gym now, like I immediately start with On Time and The Superheroes, like in that exact order. Like if I'm listening to the one song, I have to listen to both of them.
Exactly.
Because like the transition alone just like makes the song worth it. But then you have like songs that are like trance with
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, Young Thug. Thank you.
We just looked at
Yeah,
Dan.
Dan's helping me out. He's my Jamie. But like you have songs like Trance that are just like these true, just like dance house style, just like songs that you can just vibe to. And then obviously, like I was saying, like just the hard hitting songs, like Metro Boomin's album, perfect. Like Metro Boomin,
Dude,
It's so good.
it's such a good
not
album.
even to mention like I'm a big fan of like albums that are like produced very well and like have very hard hitting beats and like bass. Metro Boomin's like the producer for having like the hardest bass lines in songs.
There's too many nights by Don Toliver.
Oh my god,
That
I forgot
like
about
wet
that.
that
Like,
wet
that's what I
bass
mean.
line. That's so good.
Too many nights with
Future and Don Toliver.
Yeah.
That bass line in there, it's like wild, man. You put like some good headphones on.
Oh, dude,
It's
I put
ringing in
those
there.
Sodies on. It's just
It's incredible. I remember.
It's the third
Yeah.
song on the album as well.
I remember listening to it as I was driving to visit Hudson, and in the car I was like max volume on the speakers, blasting everything. It was my first time. I was like, dude, I did not realize that this would be such a cinematic experience, such an incredible. And then again, as you say, like the versatility of having that, and then you go to like
Like you
with
Future
the
and Morgan
Weeknd and
Freeman on the
stuff.
same album.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's,
dude,
it's
who has
peak
Morgan
music.
Freeman on an album?
Well, 21 Savage done it in the
Metro
past
Boomin.
with
Don't-
Savage Mode 2. He was on there,
Yeah.
but like,
yeah.
motherfucker.
And didn't Metro Boomin get his start by featuring in 21 Savage's first few songs?
Possibly.
I think like Ric Flair Drip was like probably their first big,
Yeah,
like
Ric Flair
massive hit.
First Billboard Hot 100 hit was a song called X.
Oh yeah, that was Savage Mode 1. Yeah, so that was Metro as well.
Like that was early 2015, like right? 2015,
Take it,
2016.
taken away from hip hop for a second.
Okay.
I like the Charlie Puth album that dropped last year.
Left in wait, that was the rock.
To be honest,
Yeah, I'm
have
honestly
not
like
listened to
I'm
it.
honestly like got sucked into
Really?
rap this year. Like I really did a bad job with like not like listening to a lot of different albums. But I like honestly like honorable mentions like SZA. Like she dropped an album at the end of December. So good.
SOS, yeah.
SOS, very good album. It's just like that's what I just don't understand why everyone's saying like this year was bad for music. It, just,
was- it
or
was
2022.
good.
It was very good.
Especially the ending of it. So like by the ending, going back to Charlie Puth, he dropped his album. The song "Golden Hour." Everyone's heard it on TikTok everywhere.
Jake?
Yeah, by Jake. I actually added that song to our radio station the day it came out,
Nice.
like way before, like because it was getting its like track because he was promoting it. Yeah, I love what he does. He's like a solo artist with no label or anything, and he wants to show people that you.
A lot of indie acts
famous.
have been getting really popular in recent years.
There you go.
Zach Bryan released a song called "Something in the Orange." Zach Bryan's an indie country act. When he released "Something in the Orange," he released.
I heard country.
He released "Something in the Orange" and it is now in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100.
Not bad. Then what do we got time wise?
21 minutes.
All right, let's get into number one.
Number one. Yeah,
21. Can you do
On the
something
book
for
for
me?
me.
Okay.
Yeah, like, okay, so like let me mention this. Yeah, like, that song. That
There,
song's
I know
so
there's
awesome.
one of two. I know you're going with number one. I don't know which one it's.
do you
I'm
think?
thinking of
What do you
two
think?
albums as well.
What do you think,
Those are my two I was thinking of. I'm gonna go with Mr. Morale, but tell us your number one.
Mr. Morale?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
there's no
okay,
doubt. There's no doubt.
like okay, I know I gave SZA an honorable mention, but like you have to give an honorable mention to Pusha T. Like that's that Dreaming of the Past, like all those old soul beats on that album, so good. And another album that I think deserves a little honorable mention, Vince Staples' new album, Romara Parks, Broke My Heart, something like that. I don't know if you never listened to Vince Staples before. Really good artist. I saw him for the first time in person when I went to go see Tyler the Creator. He was one of the opening acts, and like
sick.
he has like hard hitting trap bangers from back in the day. Ramona Park Broke My Heart. That's it. Like North and those sort of songs like that. Like he's got a lot of good songs. Big Fish Theory, all those
Big
sorts of albums.
Fish Theory.
Dude, Big Fish Theory is such a good album.
2010's
Bigfoot,
gotta
Big
check
Fish
it out.
album. Love that song.
So shout out to all.
Shout out to all those albums.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Mr. Morale. It's
Come on.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
It's Kendrick. I like it's so hard to
K
say.
Dot
Yeah, K Dot.
will not be passed. Like, yo, we saw the Super Bowl last year.
Oh yeah.
All those OG
right.
artists. What, like, even like new artists was on there? No one other than K Dot, because there's no one else.
The GOAT.
There's no one else.
Obviously.
Kendrick is the GOAT. He is like really high up there. Like J. Cole told Dr. Dre about him. There was another guy that told Dr. Dre, I don't know who it was, but J. Cole was like, yo, Kendrick, he might be like kind of good.
kind of comes and takes over. Yeah, he's got to be in like everyone's like
yeah.
top 10
No, that's top 10 is disrespectful.
all time. You think he's more than top five all time?
Easily.
Oh, man,
that like
really?
top 10 is extremely disrespectful.
I know
My
that,
bad,
that we're
Kendrick.
gonna sign off real quick, but if I were to ask both of you your favorite artist, just one name that comes to your mind.
Well, I mean, I want to say Kendrick because we just talked about him, but
Okay.
right now probably Jid.
Jid.
Yeah, I gotta go with.
Right now, last year,
Yeah.
JPEG Mafia. I don't know if anyone knows who Peggy is.
I've heard of them.
Peggy.
Him.
He released an album in 2021.
LP.
I
Yeah.
heard that too. That album.
But,
LP.
But
Yeah.
the version of LP I listened to was the Nightmare version of LP.
Yeah, no. Like, if you really dive deep into Peggy's music, like, he's got a bunch of real out-of-pocket songs, but, like,
Really?
Some of it's like so experimental.
like his like one of his like his first album that like his very first album that at least I know about. There probably is another EP that he's like listened to, like he's dropped. Like he is his first album that like he's ever dropped is Communist Slow Jams. Like that song, like that, just like he's literally just like talking about how he like just hates this country so much, and just like rapping about like how like just a bunch of things about the government. And then like he drops in the next year, he drops Black Ben Carson, which just goes even deeper into that rabbit hole and just like talking about like just everything that you
Black
could possibly
Ben
imagine.
Carson is the earliest album of his that comes up on Spotify because some of his stuff is not on it.
So your number one guy right now is JPEG Mafia.
Yeah, I got into him like definitely like I think like Black Ben Carson and like Communist Slow Jams like definitely not for everyone. And again, I only pick like 4 songs out of that album for both of them that I actually like really enjoy. But like his like biggest album is definitely Veteran, which released back in 2018. Like that has a lot of really good songs, and like he's done songs with like Brockhampton, Denzel Curry. But, like,
Brockhampton released 2 albums in 2022, actually.
I'm not a big fan of
So did Countryman,
Brockhampton,
by the way.
yeah.
But what's your number one artist? What's your number one?
My number one artist? It doesn't change. It's the same every year. J. Cole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we should have.
My boy Jermaine, bro. J. Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole.
Dreamville had a big year. Dreamville, that whole record had a huge year.
I need J. Cole to drop a new album, like just him.
It's been a bit, right?
He dropped that new song recently where he
90
took like
Proof.
was it called 90 Proof? The song
Yeah.
where he took a beat off of YouTube, like he looked up on YouTube J. Cole style beat and like
funny.
literally rapped on it, made a whole track, and like gave it to the kid. And he was like, "You post this on your YouTube channel, it's yours now."
Oh, that's wild.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I forget what the song is called. I don't. It's on the kids. J. Cole did not upload it to his Spotify
it's
or
probably-
anything because he wanted to give all the profits to the kid who made the beat. So he gave him the song, like his verse, his track, everything. Send it to him. It's on his YouTube.
That's
Whatever the kid's YouTube is, I don't don't know it.
Imagine being that kid getting like a DM and it's like J. Cole
He literally
You
just
know,
named the
it's
song
like-
J. Cole type beat.
for real. You get like a wave 5. You're like, oh, there's
Wait,
no way
that's
this
what
is.
the song's called?
No, that's what J. Cole did. He like
We
just
got-
Googled J. Cole type beat.
All right, I gotta listen to this song by the time next episode comes around. Daniel, you have given us the mark.
Wait,
So
we forgot something.
we need Cameron's sign signature
Sorcerer?
on that. Sorcerer, hook him up.
All right, Dan, hold up, Cam.
Camera is the angle set.
Sprinting to the poster.
I'm
man.
so excited.
So excited.
Actually, let me do this. I got you. Let me just grab it.
Oh, jeez. This is heavy.
Okay, we got 2 angles now.
We got 2 angles. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, it's dead.
No way.
There we go.
There you go.
One more left.
The only person we're actually missing on there now is Eric. But actually, should we do a vlog style kind of like ouch?
Oh yeah, say bye to everyone.
Actually, yeah.
Everyone get like in the back.
Everyone get in the back. Yeah.
Background.
This is what the background looks like, guys. I don't know if any of the mics can even pick me up.
we got your mic.
We got this mic on here. But this is it. This is the Illess crew. Season 2, episode 2. We're signing out, guys. We got bigger and better things coming.
Better tomorrow. That's what it's about.
Better tomorrow.
Better tomorrow, guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye.